On December 18th, 1878, a very young and expiring Georgian man was born. This man would go on to become the leader of millions of people, along with millions of corpses. This man would continue to prolong a famine, industrialize the nation, but take the profits, and nearly start a third world war. This young man was none other than Joseph Stalin. Stalin was born into poverty and was often abused by his alcoholic father. He was given a scholarship to attend a seminary and study for priesthood for the Georgian Orthodox Church. There, he read Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, which started his passion for revolutionary movements. This can also be seen in Animal Farm, where the animals are given a speech from Old Major, and then eventually throw their own revolution. While young, Stalin joined in revolutionary activities and crimes. He would use the money gained from his crimes to help fund the Bolshevik Party. In 1912, Lenin appointed Stalin to serve on the First Central Committee of the Bolshevik Party. Then in 1917, the Bolsheviks seized power in Russia after years of trying. 5 years later, in 1922, the Soviet Union was founded with Lenin as its first leader. Later that year, Stalin moved up the party ladder to Secretary General, which enabled him to appoint his allies to government jobs and grow a base of political support. In 1924, Lenin died. Stalin outmaneuvered his rivals and won the power struggle for control over the Communist Party. Then finally, in the late 1920s, Stalin took control of the Soviet Union and his dictatorship began. On August 23, 1939, the Soviet Union signed the German-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact with Germany. The leader at the time for Germany, Hitler, used this to invade half of Poland while the Soviets invaded the other half, which then started World War II. Later in the war, Hitler had expanded to the French west coast, where he was stopped by natural boundaries. Roughly a year later, on June 22, 1941, Hitler sent 3 million Axis troops to invade the Soviet Union, breaking the Non-Aggression Pact. Later in the war, at the Battle of Stalingrad, the Soviets were finally successfully able to repel the Germans. This battle can be seen in Animal Farm at the Battle of the Windmill, where the animals repelled Frederick's attacks. But at the battle for the Soviets, they were starved and the city was destroyed, but Stalin saw this as a victory as they were able to finally repel them. This can also be seen at the Battle of the Windmill, with Napoleon seeing the battle as a victory despite the windmill being destroyed and many injured. The war eventually turned in favor of the Allies, who won the war against the Germans on May 7, 1945. The war shortly ended on September 2, 1945, when America dropped the second atomic bomb on Japan.
In the late 1920s, Stalin launched a series of five-year plans intended to transform the Soviet Union from a peasant society to an industrial superpower that centered on control of the economy and government. The government took control of the farms, but millions of farmers refused to cooperate with Stalin's orders and were shot or exiled as punishment. The now forced civilization led to widespread famine that killed millions. Stalin ruled by terror with a toleration grip in order to eliminate anyone who might oppose him. He expanded the secret police and encouraged citizens to spy on each other. He also had millions of people killed or sent to the infamous Gulag system, where many people worked to death. He instituted the Great Purge, a series of campaigns designed to rid the Communist Party, the military, and other parts of Soviet society from those he considered a threat. He built a cult out of his personality, and some of the Soviet Union cities were renamed in his honor. His name became part of the Russian national anthem, and he censored photographs in an attempt to rewrite history, removing former associates executed during his many purges. He died on March 5, 1953 at age 74 after suffering a stroke. His body was embalmed and preserved in Lenin's mausoleum in Moscow's Red Square until 1961, when it was removed and buried near the Kremlin walls as part of the de-Stalinization process initiated by Stalin's successor, Nikita Khrushchev.
Stalin's legacy is ultimately him being a ruthless, selfish dictator who never improved the lives of people and only did more bad than good. Although he industrialized Russia, the citizens never profited, just like Napoleon and his windmill, who he is best compared to. Napoleon executed his trusted friend Boxer, just like Stalin's purges. Stalin also murders people with little to no reason, just out of paranoia. This is also seen with Napoleon when he mass slaughtered his people due to claims working with Snowball. The difference, however, is a major war such as World War II between Frederick and the Animal Farm that involves actual conflicts. The other difference is Stalin was educated by the Georgian Orthodox Church, and the Animal Farm is his Moses, and Napoleon does not get persuaded nor educated by him. So to conclude, Stalin is best to be compared with Napoleon because they're both selfish leaders hunting for personal gain. They killed anyone who threatened or questioned their power and used fear to control the people.